low key, keep it softly spoken, with no strings tying you to me.
Okay, so I'm going to show you. I'm going to do a little ufology on Americans, okay? And I'm just going to go through just because I think we can get a better understanding of something if I do this. So, anyways, we have Americans, and we need three things that support Americans. Well, I think like if the government could see this and then prioritize better, that would be great. What are three main things that Americans need in order to have a country called America? We need to have people. In order to have people, what do we need? We need food, and we need shelter from the harm, shelter from harsh weather, climate. We need education, love, and a sense of purpose. All right, Danny's back. Danny, is that you?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think I just picked my nose a little. I didn't really pick. I just itched it. I just marked orange on my hat. So Americans need shelter, food, education, love, and sense of purpose to live. Correct.
Here.
Thank you,
You
Danny.
like it,
Yeah, thank you, Danny.
Yep.
I appreciate that. Okay, so is it the government's job to do any of this stuff here? Is it the government's job to educate us? Yes. Is it the government's job to love us? Yes. Is it the government's job to give us a sense of purpose? No, it is not. Who gives us our sense of purpose? Well, that would begin in the home with parenting. Yes. And then it continues with education and love. Love should just come with parenting. Well, because if like your mother loves you, she wants you around, she wants you alive. So, it's like, I just need you because I love you, even if you're not doing it, even if you have no purpose, your purpose is here because I need you here because I love you, that's what it is. And then you could also say, and who's going to take care of me when I'm old and somebody needs to change my diapers, Exactly. Because I would tell my kids, if they ever come back to me, I don't want any strangers changing my diapers. When I'm old and senile, I want my children to, come and put me back, be like, oh, Mom, come here. You're just going senile. Come sit down. Go listen to the piano or something, And, yeah, that's what, when I'm like 80. Butter? Okay, I thought it was ice cream.
I got 2 loaves of bread, too. I should grab ice cream.
I know, I want that, but they only have that caramel
I
swirl.
I got 2 different types down there. That mint
Yeah.
and caramel.
Yeah. I got something in my teeth. We went to Culver's and ate. That was pretty good. So, yeah, this is curious. I have a question before we get into this. Because, well, what we're gonna come back to is how the government needs to be supporting our shelter, our food, and our education. Mm-hmm. Well, I accidentally set my ashtray to my back. Well, I think when the government came in and started undermining the authority of a parent, undermining the authority of parents, and poor parents specifically, I guess we can put poor parents, undermining that authority, that's where I think we went wrong in the last 4 decades, was definitely just undermining the authority of parents and usurping law. And I think that's cheating. I think transfer funds that they began with experiments in the Bureau of Indian Affairs and Indian Health Services, IHS. Have you guys heard of the IHS? It's Indian Health Services. Well, what they were doing was a transfer of funds, and it worked quite well. It worked exceedingly well. It was exceedingly a success because through Title 19 or Medicaid and Medicare programs, they noticed that doctors and offices were receiving their payments, and they were receiving them in abundance, like because the government was paying, so the government was paying. So then, then they wanted to have, well, okay, with insurance companies, they have the insurance companies made larger payments because the doctors charged the regular insurance companies, like if you had a job, Blue Cross Blue Shield or whatever, that insurance company would pay your doctor, but it would pay them more. And there used to be more people on Blue Cross Blue Shield, or more private, or through your, well, first they had private insurances that you would get through your job, and then they went from there to having companies that were just insurance companies that went through the job, because they could get this, like, it was just, it'd be like a cheaper thing, a policy, whatever, better policy, whatever. So then, and then they started doing this in the 80s, transferring of funds. And then they noticed how the patients who were on Title 19, that the doctors were receiving those funds. So physicians and doctors, I've got the thing, they did it with I've got the whole booklet or whatever on what they did. And so you see their ideas. So then Hillary Clinton, her and the health program and everything, and with funding, that's what everything's all about, is funding and more funding. So anyways, yeah. So then she started it with covering all children's health care. And then Barack Obama followed it up with the health care for all, and the reason why, and everybody, and this is where, I say this, misinformation or withholding important educational things that would just greatly, they say it all the time, that stress is number one killer. The number one cause of death is stress. Okay, it's not high blood pressure, it's not AIDS, it's not syphilis, it's not coronavirus, it's not the flu, it's not pneumonia, it's not car accidents, it's not murders. War may top the number one killer, but stress is the number one killer of people, because stress releases a hormone known as the fight or flight response, and then there's a scientific name for it. I'm not sure what it is, but let's just go through and name some things that stress us out. What stresses us out? Well, as a child, we're very sensitive to stress. It's very important that a baby, especially through their developmental stages, while you're anytime through the developmental stages, which is your brain doesn't stop growing until the age of 26, around about the age of 26, and your front part of your brain that makes decisions, that doesn't fully develop until the age of 21, hence the drinking age is 21. So it's very important, in my mind, I would assume that it is very important not to introduce stress, or to have stress, very limited stress, introduced into your system before the age of 26. You should really, your parents, the government, whoever, I think, between leaders and parents, up until your child is the age of 26, stress should be down as much as possible. As much as possible. AMAP. Okay? AMAP. So, low stress. What causes stress? Okay, when children... So you want them to go to school, that's good. But children, what causes stress? Separation. Separation from the parents causes stress. Okay, so when you're encouraging those mothers to drop their children off at daycare or preschool, you are doing more harm than good. So please keep your children at home until it's time to get them social. Now, kindergarten, that doesn't seem like such a bad age, but I would rather wait until 8 years old. I think 8 years old to introduce, because at home, the mother can read to the child, the mother can count with the child. You can teach my children learned to count to 10 by the time they were 3 years old. They were counting up the steps, so they were counting up to like 22 or something. There's an average 22 stairs in a staircase. So anyways, well, the ones that I know. Reading, parents, they can teach. I taught my child how to write her name before she went to preschool. These are all things that can be done at home. Alphabet, reading, writing, and then you could do the other stuff. They could go to school to learn, all the other stuff, just if you want to do a basic measurement, because really now with homeschooling and internet and everything, it's very unnecessary to waste money on these structures, that you call school buildings. The thing I think would be best to do for those is to turn those into museums. You could turn them into museums. You could turn them into community centers, and you could turn them into town halls. Okay. Also, you could turn your schools into emergency shelters for people who are who otherwise would be staying on the street. So, obviously with my plan, we're not going to have a need for a lot of shelters, because I would make a big budget for builders. So there'd be, for taxes, instead of, sorry, Lockheed Martin, sorry, bomb and weapons distributors, but you're going to have to move into the candy business and just start making your warheads and Sour Punch Kids. shit, you're gonna have to do it that way and make your money. And I'm sorry if all you know is weapons, but get into fireworks or something. But you're not gonna be funded by the government anymore. I don't know what they're doing in the Middle East. Maybe you still have business over there, but as far as Americans are concerned, under my plan, we do not need your weapons or your bombs. I'll get my handguns from Browns. I don't need yours. So moving on, Smith and Wesson, that's fine too. Okay, so that's what we can do with the school, because education, we need the education to grow with the times. They are moving towards a more universal government, which is good because that means the people are going to be less governed, hopefully, hopefully. But, well, because I think that, I think the majority of the people, I mean, my sister, she's microcephalic, so she's intellectually disabled, and she drives a car just fine. You tell her how much rent is, she pays it. She has a bill, you mail it to her, she puts the money. I mean, she's better at all that stuff, better than me. And I mean, I'm intellectually disabled, obviously, but she's mentally disabled, but they give her a check for hers. Mine, they just, they haven't decided if I should be, a participating member of the community or not yet. I think it's been not for the last 7 years. They'd rather not me participate in town hall meetings like YouTube, town hall square participations like YouTube and Twitter and stuff. I'm, shadow banned or blocked. For God only knows. Well, Tucker Carlson knows why. Ask him. I'm about sick of that fucking shithead. So anyway, sorry about that. I shouldn't have said that. So, okay, so what supports Americans? Education, sense of purpose, love, food, and shelter. Okay, so a lot of people wanted to say healthcare. I heard that. I could hear you from far away. I said, what supports America? You guys wanted to say healthcare. And I thought about that too, but I switched out healthcare for education and love. Because you need and sense of purpose, because mental health is a big part of health. And when you have like bipolar or manic depressive or schizophrenia, and that's just as damaging as having cancer, but you just don't die from it, but it takes away from your quality of life. And I mean, it's worse than cancer because nobody feels sorry for you. They just ignore you and act like you don't exist. So that sucks. But anyways, moving on. So Americans need this. So if I was budgeting, a big portion of my budget would go to builders, anybody in the business of builders. So that's tile layers, painters, framers, anything construction, whatever it takes to build a house or to build a complex or whatever. We would be having that. Now, right now, they're spending about $600 billion a year. $600 billion a year in weapons defense and military industry complex. So I would go ahead and leave some of that funding for our military, for our servicemen and women. So that way, and that would be for them to buy a home and stuff. But then I would still expect them to get a job with, you could do securities, because there's apartment buildings that have, that do security. You guys, there's just so many things, but I would like for you military service people all to more direct your things towards building homes. And obviously we're going to need like shopping centers or community centers and stuff like that. But also, remember, we're not going to really need school buildings so much anymore, since we're going to have stay-at-home moms. And a lot of moms are going to be working from home anyway, so don't worry about that whole feminine, you got to have a career, you're not barefoot pregnant, you're just at home with your kid if you want to be. That's a great option, because sometimes, you'll have a job and you'll be making, $25,000, $26,000 a year, but you're paying $16,000 or $20,000 a year for that daycare service while you're at work. So it's like, you working just for someone to babysit your child? That seems neglectful, and that seems like separation harm. It's a new term I just coined. It at what time is it? I don't have my watch on. I couldn't find my watch. Danny, what time is it?
12 o'clock.
It's midnight right now. Midnight on May 26th. I am now coining the term. What term was that I just coined?
Third rock from sun.
No. It's called separation harm.
I thought you were talking about
Separation harm. Separation harm is super, super bad on the psyche. Like, how when a mother gives birth to her baby, how they're connected with an umbilical cord? Well, it's very important that that mother and that child see each other as fast as possible, so she can get her breast into that baby's mouth and hear the voice and hear the comforting, because it's just very important. And for the father to be there too, because the voices and stuff are going to be very soothing. The energy is going to be calming. It's just the same thing as having a baby in a tub of water, because the baby, they say it's more relaxing and less traumatic because the baby was already in a bath of water. So, and that I totally agree with that. If I could go back and do that, I would definitely intervene and be like, separation harm. Nope, gotta have baby in a bathwater. All right. Yep. Throw out the bathwater, but don't throw out the baby. Okay, got that. All right. So that's where I would put a lot of that into building, because I'm expecting there to be at a time where it's not that the government owns the property will eventually be, it'll be yours and your family to take care of that property. And well, what we'll probably do is when you turn 18, or well, actually when you turn 26, we'll probably have you do, well, it could be 18 or 26, because you got to remember, if stress is harmful to a child, it's still harmful to an older person too. So they could get a place. We could give everybody like their own place at the age of 18. You could start them off in an apartment, and then they could do home ownership lessons. Like, you have to learn how to mow your lawn. You have to learn how to take care of your plumbing. You have to learn, you have to be in a pattern of paying your, you got to have a homeowner taxes, stuff like that, because we still have to pay for the streets and the street signs and the upkeep and stuff. We're still going to have police, but the police are not going to be near as much, because if you know how to drive a car, you're going to learn how to drive a car from school. You're going to learn at 16, and you're going to learn, and then that's it. It's like a bike. You don't have to go back and get a test. You don't have to go back and get your ID. You get one ID for your entire life. That means if you ever lose it, you replace it, and maybe you can pay for a replacement. But are we going to have an office open using taxpayers' money just so people can come in and renew I could ride my bike license? I don't think so. That's a waste of money, a waste of time, and a waste of sense of purpose. This job creation quota thing has gotten out of control. You've got police officers arresting mothers and putting them in jail for driving while barred. Once you go through driver's ed, which everybody will go through driver's ed, and the only thing that could keep you back from getting your license is if you are blind as a bat, and if you can't see, and gosh, I can't really see, or if you're disabled if you're so intellectually disabled that it prevents you from being capable of driving. Now, not every intellectual handicapped person is incapable of driving, because my sister clearly is microcephalic and hyperactive and high functioning, so she can drive, and she likes to drive fast and whatever, but she hasn't really gotten in any car accidents, not ones that she's caused. Nope. Surprisingly, I drive like a grandma, and I've gotten in 4 accidents, I think 3 or 4, and she drives like a NASCAR fucking sprint car racer, and she's gotten in no accidents. She's gotten in 1 accident, but she wasn't driving. So anyways, so the police are going to be focusing only on violent crimes. They're going to be focused on violent crimes and white collar crimes. So corruption, oversight of 501c3s, murders, corruption, stuff like that. Murders, corruption, rape. That's all they're going to be focusing on, because they're going to have to meet a quota based on past statistics. Okay, how many people have been murdered? Okay, well, you have a quota. That's how many murderers you need to catch. Now, you're going to count it by case, because we're not going to go out looking for 10 murderers. If one guy went in and shot up a bar of 10 people, then that's 1 murderer. So yes, you're going to count by a case, and this is going to take more time than usual. But once you get in a habit of it, it's not going to be that hard at all. So I know it's different. I know it's a change, but you guys, it's going to be a lot better in the future. Trust me. You're not going to have as much hate crime. You're not going to have people hating on police. People are going to get along better. People are going to learn how to respect beliefs and boundaries. We don't know, in our country right now, we are having a problem with understanding boundaries, making them, crossing them, all those things. So, and it's so messed up. I just want to get us back to the basics, and I want our government to be a functioning, serving the Americans. And when I talk about Americans, I'm talking about refugees, immigrants, Mexicans, Somalians, Kenyans, all of yins I'm talking about, So anyways, and I don't care. I do not want to hear anything in the media about race. I want that shit. You keep it to yourself. If there's a hate crime, you will not talk about it anymore, because slavery is over with, and there is no more trafficking. If we find trafficking, then you're going down. Then you will get in trouble. Those are what the police are going to be. We don't need ICE anymore. We don't need immigration customs enforcement, because we have police that are not worried about filling some speed limit, fucking going over the speed limit quota. Ticket writers, So just calm down, and don't worry. I've already got it worked out with the cement companies and asphalt. They've all got their districts. They all know what roads and where their maintenance is. And don't worry about their kickbacks. They get kickbacks because they're taking care of your roads. They ain't doing nothing funny with your money. So just, and don't worry, cement, asphalt people, we're going to take care of you. Just like we take care of the builders, we're going to take care of all you guys. Now, if you guys are worried about not having a job, don't worry about unemployment, because everybody gets an income of $1,000 a month. I don't care whether you work or don't work. That's on you. Trust me, everybody, every desire that you have can be fulfilled. And that's where your limitations are going to come in on the people that don't want to work but only receive $1,000 a month. Well, then you're not going to get much luxury. Yeah, you could pay $100, $200 a month for rent, but you're still going to have bills. You're going to have a cell phone bill. You want to watch cable, you're going to need a cable bill. If you want water, depending on where you live, you might have a water bill. What are you going to do for entertainment? So don't think those $1,000 a month people are living, and most of them have mental health disabilities anyways. So you don't want them around, because they could go crazy on you. So don't worry about that. And you guys, they've helped enough in the being just poor poverty. Don't you know that poor poverty people come from slavery type work? There's white slaves too, and a lot of them have military family backgrounds. So everybody's done enough, and they'll do more if they want to do more. We're not pushing people. We're not stressing anything. No stress. There's already stress. We don't need to add any more, okay? So calm down on that. That doesn't mean you can still be a capitalist and give everybody $1,000 a month to send up higher vibrations and higher frequencies of better vibes. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we have less stress vibes floating around the ether with the space, that it does the whole world a lot better, okay? Everybody benefits. All right, now stop it. I'm tired of you guys talking like that. You don't understand. So shelter is going to be good. Like I said, this is where this shelter is going to come in. We're going to build houses. And no, if you live in a house, you can keep your house. Okay. If you own an apartment complex, you can still own that apartment complex. Are you receiving money for? You can still receive. I know we said that but I don't know. You're right. You got me on that one. I have not worked out how we are going to transfer free homes from paying rent to free homes. I haven't got that worked out just yet, but with my budget for builders, and we could do builders and property owners, land and property owners. Building and property owners, we'll figure something out. We'll have a round table, a rectangle table, whatever table you want, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll figure out, how the budget is going to go. But trust me, our bricklayers, our siders, our framers, if you build L&C homes, if you build homes, if you're a builder, if you're a construction worker, you never have to worry about being laid off ever again. If you want overtime hours, they are going to be there. I want buildings. I want a house for everybody. I want a single family home for everybody in America by some point, and throughout the next 100 years. I would like to be working on this, so that way we have no more people dying, being evicted from homes, dying by riverbanks, being murdered, being raped, having children taken from mothers because of poor parenting. I want all that stuff eliminated. I'm trying, so this is my vision. So $600 billion a year, I think we'll be fine. And if this transition, we're going to take care of the people. Trust me. The most important thing right here is the main idea. The main idea is Americans, okay? And we have three things. Now, food. How are we going to do food? We have a budget, right? I mean, if we're given $600 billion to, excuse me, there's another 0006. This would be a 6 right here. 600 billion. That much money is going to build. Well, why don't we take out of this fund? Why don't we take 200 billion? We'll take 200 billion and put that into SNAP food benefits. SNAP food, okay? What do you mean? Where's all the food going to come from that the people are going to buy? Where has it been coming from? What, you think once we give everybody $1,000, how many people are going to quit their jobs if they receive? Go do a survey. Survey junkie. Yeah, can you come here a second? Can you go do me a favor? I know, it shouldn't take that long. Can you go have your people run a survey and do it on as many people as possible? Get your surveys out to more people than just, your survey junkie app. There's not very many people are checking into that. But, because I just checked, I know. But anyways, will you have them go check? And I want the question to be like, if you were to win, okay, if you won $1,000 a month for the rest of your life, would you quit your job? If you won, just say, if you won, you have to do it like that. If you won $1,000 a month for the rest of your life, would you quit your job? And then would you get back to me with those numbers, please? Or get back to the viewers, at least? Okay, thank you. And then I want you to take that survey and take it up to the top. Run that up to Kamala Harris. No, don't tell Joe. He doesn't, what's the point? If you tell Joe, there's no point. Tell Kamala. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll put I got $100 extra on your paycheck this week, okay? All right, cool. Thank you. All right, that's how I work with my people. All right. So we're going to put $200 billion into food. Okay. Now, food, the SNAP benefits, we can base SNAP benefits on your income, and, and everybody can be eligible for it. And then you can just tell us how big are you buying food for you, just you? Is it you and your husband? Is it you, your husband, and your kids? Okay. What's your income? Okay. Then we're going to give you this. We'll give you $500 a month. So, everything is going to be sliding scale recipient besides the $1,000 a month. But what we're going to do is because along with with the buildings and the property owners and stuff, you guys are going to be getting a lot of kickbacks, but you're going to be charging a lot less for rent. So somebody who makes $1,000 a month with 2 people in their household, they'll obviously have $2,000 a month and 2 people in the household. So you don't want to divide it. You want to. We were going to do a percentage. I'd say probably $300 a month. Probably let's do about $150 a month per person. Because so then that's $150 automatically is going to come out of everybody's everybody's $1,000, and is going to go to property owners or managers or property owners, land leases, whatever. So I think that's a good deal. And also with the kickbacks and you not having to pay taxes on certain things, you're going to get a lot. We're going to work it out because we're just going to work it out, And like I said, we've got a lot closing down. So a lot of mothers, we can't be pushing this careers thing. You guys got to be pushing this separation harm theory because it's not a theory, it's a fact. And it a lot of you can encourage people. We're not trying to encourage job creation. What we're trying to encourage is sustainability, assimilation of sustainability, and I want everybody to be at an ease. I need everybody's frequency, like vibration frequency, to be at a predictable level, because when we don't know where we're going to sleep the next day or next month or in 2 months or in a week, when we don't know what our life is going to be in 2 weeks, we can't plan well, we can't be stable, we can't evolve healthy, we can't be a healthy nation. So this is very important, and this is why education is going to be this is why those are the 3 main things: education, food, and shelter. You might have health care, maybe you're healthy as a horse, but you're homeless as a hobo. What good is that? What good is being healthy if you're homeless? There is no good. There's nothing, because you're like, great, I'm healthy and I'm not going to die and I have to sleep by a river. But you're not going to be healthy for long because you're going to be stressed out, and you'll probably get murdered or raped. If you're a woman, the chances of you being murdered and raped are far more likely. And if you're a woman, you'll probably get murdered faster too. So that's the only good thing about being starving in America if you're a woman. So that's how that's going to go. Education, it's, I want people to enjoy the arts. I want people's money to be going to pay artists for their artwork, music for their music, directors for their movies, actors for their acting. I want all that stuff, and I want everybody to be able to enjoy and fully participate in this thing called life. And if you want to try it. If that's what you want, to live on $1,000 a month, that's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to say you're not equal to do something, but you're not going to be attending any NFL football games, or you're not going to be probably climbing any mountains unless you live near one. And, those are the things. And those are the things that those are the choices that people will make. What do you want to experience? You want to experience more life? Then you will get a job and you'll make more money. Does that help? But it can't hurt to give everybody $1,000 a month so everybody can pay rent, everybody can have food, and everybody doesn't have to be a codependent and a hot mess. See what I'm saying? So that's how we do America for Americans. Okay? We love the people. Because we love the world, because we love the people, we're going to be stronger, healthy Americans that are more educated and more well-rounded. Yeah. We'll eat better because we'll be educated better. We'll eat better because we'll have better funding for people so they can afford it. We're going to have more gardens and more houses and more playgrounds, more enjoyment centers and learning centers. I think learning centers are awesome too, for people to hook up and have like their little club meetings, like astrology club, math club, chess club. And with, the main jobs just being, building and clothing, we still need clothing designers. What are we going to do when Christian Dior, what's going to happen to his clothing line? We need to make sure that it gets handed down to a person who is complementing Christian Dior's original style and blah blah blah, and of course it's going to evolve and be different over the years, but it's got to keep that same Christian Dior note, under here. So anyways, this is what I want you guys to know about my thoughts for America and how the United States should be.